Today on Ghostbusters News, we're joined by Ghost Corps' Eric Reich to talk all about the brand new Lego Ghostbusters Ecto-1 creator set. Hey everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And today, we're talking all about the brand new Lego Ecto-1 set, and we're joined by Ghost Corps' Eric Reich.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to see you, Jason.
Good to see you as well, Eric. Now, Eric, for those who don't know, you're part of Ghost Corps, you're a member of Ghost Corps, but exactly what is your title and what do you do?
This is always the hardest question. I am a co-producer on the new movie, and I also oversee the Ghostbusters franchise. Basically anything that has a logo on it, I've most likely seen it or hopefully seen it before it gets out to the world.
So your hands in a lot of different pots then when it comes to Ghostbusters.
Totally, yeah. From production and all the way through all these ancillary products and everything around Ghostbusters, whether it's a video game, a VR experience. It's actually a lot of fun.
So on November 5th, news officially broke that the largest toy company in the world, Lego, you guys were once again going to team up with them for a brand new collaboration with this just massive scale Ecto-1. I gotta assume that you guys were really excited to finally announce this thing. I mean, it looks like it's been a labor of love.
It has. We've been working with Lego obviously for many years on a bunch of different products, but when they found out about Afterlife, which was, early in 2019, maybe even late 2018, they definitely wanted to do something with us. And we were excited when they brought us this idea of the larger scale car, the Ecto-1. They had done a lot of creator vehicles in the past that had done really well for them. And so they thought this would be perfect adult collector fan item. I actually have a couple of the cars there in my own collection. And then at the very bottom, one of the motorcycles that they've done. So it's technically part of that exact same line. And as you said, the scale is massive, and we'll take a look at that in a minute.
All right, so you're a Lego connoisseur. I'm sure you're, well, obviously, as you just said, you were pretty pumped to actually kind of, sink your teeth into this project. What I'm curious about here is what was the process actually like of, getting this from like the design phase to actually, out to market?
It's quite a long process, but what was exciting is, we talked to Lego first about the idea, and they came back with the large scale, which we were on board with. And then they went away for a couple months and came up with an actual design that they brought to us in LA, which was really cool to see for the first time. And of course, it didn't look exactly like it turned out. So that's when the process began, and the real collaboration, which was the fun part for me of working with the designers and, making sure that this Ecto has everything that the new movie Ecto has and more. And it also appeals to all the fans out there.
Well, I know you touched on the designer just a second ago. I know the designer of this Ecto-1, he's the same gentleman that pretty much brought the James Bond Aston Martin vehicle to life. You have it right there on your shelf. I see it. Looks beautiful. Now, there's a pretty big difference, in my opinion, between an Aston Martin and bringing a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor ambulance dolled up to hunt ghosts to life.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things the designer was really particular about is the curves on the vehicle. And we knew right away that, for instance, the front windshield was something that they were going to have to make as a brand new piece because they have nothing like it. And that's such an iconic part of the vehicle, including, the front grille and all the back wings. That had to be brought to life, and I think he did an amazing job.
Now, you're talking a lot about it. I know everybody out there, they want to see the Ecto. I mean, I just got mine today. I've started the build right here, and let me say, first impressions of this thing, the box is massive, first and foremost.
Huge.
But as we've already said, the actual Ecto is massive. So let's take a gander at it.
All right, so here it is. As you can see, it is massive, especially compared to the previous Ectos that Lego has released in the past. Again, this is in the adult collector scale. It's part of their creator series. And it's 18 inches long. It's very heavy, but it's got amazing details, and they were able to accomplish all these details because of the size and scale. Let me also just grab the other vehicle that he did so you can see, again, the scale is massive compared to even their normal Lego cars.
Now, you're saying that obviously there's a lot of weight to it. Now, I'm curious, being Lego, how sturdy does the overall build actually feel when completed?
It feels really sturdy. I mean, for all the moving parts and pieces that this thing has, it's got a great base system. I've taken this thing all around from the studio to my house to show it off when we were building it. And, you know, usually with some Lego sets, pieces will fall off and things, but no, I haven't had no issues. So it's a really good, sturdy build. It's exciting.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe one of the biggest coups of this new Lego set is I think you guys actually got the actual rights for General Motors. Like they've actually signed off on this Cadillac.
Yeah, so inside the engine, we've got the actual Cadillac logo there on the engine block. So Cadillac did sign off on the design, and we got to use their trademark as well on the vehicle, which is really exciting. Same with the front there.
Wow. Now, you just showed us a few seconds ago there, obviously, some of the other endeavors that Lego has done with Ghostbusters. Of course, we had like the original Ecto-1, like the original kind of like minifigure scaled Ecto-1. We had the Answer the Call Lego Ecto-1. From there, we also obviously had the massive Ghostbusters Firehouse. And to me, though, the actual firehouse, while it was, you know, huge in size, looked really cool, had so many moving parts and everything like that, there's something like really iconic about the Ecto-1. I mean, you look at it, you know exactly what it is. It is one of the most memorable film cars, you know, in cinematic history. And I'm kind of curious, like, you built it yourself, the one that you have right there on the table. Was there ever a part, like, was there a moment that when you're building it, it just kind of clicked with you and you were like, you know what, this is really, really cool?
I think it's the functionality that they were able to create with this and all the details. And the kick-out seat is the one thing that to me was impressive. And so we talked to them about the chair and how it spins around in the movie. And they came back to us a week later with new options. And to see how they made that come to life and work just like it does in the movie, I think that really impressed me. And in the build, it's one of the first things you actually build at the base of the car is that mechanism for the seat, and that hooked me right away the second I did that. So as you can see, they switched the door handle, so we've got the suicide door here and the gunner seat inside, and that is triggered by a piece on the other side. When you push on the other side, you can see the seat, it pops out and spins around all at the same time, and the mechanism that they used to do that was pretty complicated and cool, but also very simple, which is surprising. And I think they just did an amazing job with that.
I gotta admit, actually, that's where I am currently right now in my build. I just finished building that gunner seat, and you're right. Like, I didn't really think it was like totally secure in there. I just kind of, you know, rested two pieces on top of one another. I put the chair in place, and I didn't think it was gonna hold, but it is really secure and in place.
Yeah, it's amazing what they're able to do with the parts that they have. Like, I think the only other part that's brand new on this vehicle besides the front windshield here is the steering wheel. Everything else are parts that Lego has had in, you know, their sets for years, and I think that's what's so cool. Lego talks about part usage, and if you look at the side ladder here, it's clearly two windows, but it looks perfectly like a ladder, obviously. So it's pretty amazing what they can do.
Now, the final kind of like mechanism kind of system that Lego has in place for that actual like chair is amazing. But you've already mentioned there that there were some other ideas in place beforehand, like before this was finalized.
Yeah, at one point, you know, so this is the final button here to push. But at one point, we had a different sort of mechanism on the side to turn it and twist it. That didn't look very good, so they went back to the drawing table. At another point, they used the fan to turn it, to pull it out. But again, that had created a rod to go down the middle, so it didn't look quite as sleek. There were just lots of different concepts and ideas the designer went through until he got to this final sort of push mechanism, which I feel like is actually the best and strongest one that he presented. So super cool.
I'm actually really surprised, like for a push button, like it hides itself so well, like you wouldn't really even know that's a feature just by looking at it.
Yeah, and I love how he included the sticker right here, so it's an easy place to remember to go ahead and push on. But again, another part that I like about the stickers is that you can also just make this a clean version of the Ecto, but the rest really brings the afterlife effect out.
I'm actually kind of curious here. I mean, we already kind of touched on the design process and such like that. And Lego knocked it out of the park. From what I'm seeing right now, Lego did an amazing, amazing job with this Ecto-1. But I'm actually kind of curious, was there any other like ideas in mind? Like, did they come with you with maybe, you know, like, hey, let's do like a Lego Neutrino Wand or a Lego Ghost Trap? Was it always like this Ecto-1 that was in mind?
Yeah, that was the first and basically only idea. I mean, we're constantly talking about ideas with them. The studio licensing team, you know, they are pitching all sorts of things to them all the time. But this is the one that we all settled on that we thought would be best. And so, you know, as you can see, we've done, I think, 4 or 5 different Lego items now, and hopefully we can continue that relationship and keep making more.
Now I'm kind of curious myself. Like I said, I just started the build. I'm about maybe like an hour deep. I've got up to once again the chair, kind of swinging out there. You're a Lego. Once again, we've kind of established a Lego connoisseur in a sense. How long would you say that this build actually took you overall?
I did it over about 3 nights, and I probably spent, you know, 3 or 4 hours a night. So it was a good 10+ hour build. I'm also an admitted perfectionist, so I follow every step and make sure every piece is perfectly aligned and in the right spot. So yeah, I do probably go a little slower than normal, but it does take a good, you know, 8 to 10 hours for sure.
I was actually kind of surprised because when people think Lego, I mean, people think toy. And I mean, Legos are toys, but actually going to lego.com and looking at the product page for the Ecto-1, I'm looking at it right here actually, they really kind of refer to it as like a model car. They kind of call it a build kit and such like that. How do you feel about like that, once again, this overall build? Like, it seems like Lego's getting a bit more, I don't want to say sophisticated, but you know, they're definitely trying to appeal to a different kind of fan.
Yeah, for sure. The creator line and their ideas line, I think, is definitely for an adult fan. I believe this says 18 and over on this car. So although once you build it, kids I'm sure would love to play with this, it's definitely geared towards adult fans to build, enjoy the build, display, show it off at gatherings. And Legos is very smart about that.
Okay, so we've tackled the gunner seat. We've tackled like the overall look of the Ecto-1. What other surprises does it have?
Yeah, so we showed off the gutter seat, which comes out on the other side. Some of the other cool features, they included the strobe siren here on the top. They made it a little bit thicker so that you were able to steer the car actually here, which is really cool.
That is
As
so
you steer
cool.
yeah, and as you steer the car, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it here, but the steering wheel also moves inside.
Wow.
Some of the other features as the car is rolling down, the gear on the top, the ghost sniffer, satellite spinning around, super cool mechanism again.
And that's actually kind of surprising to me because like there's been, God, I mean, countless Lego Ecto-1s released over the years. I mean, from so many different like countless companies. Have we ever actually had rotating like gadgets like this on top, at least in this scale? I can't really think of any. And to me, like, it's kind of surprising that Lego, you know, a company that doesn't do, you know, typically electronics in their builds or anything like that, they're the guys to actually bring this to reality.
Yeah, you know what I noticed I did another one of their creator builds, or maybe it was an ideas build of the Mickey and Minnie steamboat, and they had the stack pipes going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I had seen sort of that integration as well. And I think it's, you know, it's mimicked in a great way here with the spinning gear on top. So there's one other feature that some fans will notice when they build this, and it's here in the back when you pull on the gas tank as the car is driving, a new sort of, you know, trap pops out. And I don't want to say much more than that, but you'll have to watch the movie to find out more about that sort of new surprise.
So I know you're a little tight-lipped regarding, you know, that specific trap there. One thing I want to know if you can talk about, from what I gather, there's a bag of marshmallows inside the Ecto-1. I think it may be a nod, maybe just to the original film. I'm just guessing here, but yeah, I think we have a bag of Stay Puft Marshmallows inside that thing.
Yeah, if you can see it there pretty clearly. Again, Lego loves to do Easter eggs, and they asked, you know, what kind of other little fun Easter eggs could we put in this thing? And Stay Puft Marshmallows are such an iconic part of the brand that we included a little Lego Stay Puft marshmallow bag.
Now, Eric, I gotta admit, I'm not the Lego fanatic you are. I've done, the Lego builds, like Ghostbuster Lego builds. I've done, it was like some of the Lego Dimension stuff, which was pretty much, I did that for Lego Ghostbusters as well. But there's a lot of pieces on this Ecto, well, at least a few, that seem a little familiar to me.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Lego is how creative the designers get, and the way that they use different parts from old sets. And one of the first things that seems pretty straightforward and basic, but really works here, is the double windows for the ladder, which are really cool and just fit and work perfectly. Another one that I love is the front grille has over 40 roller skates, which I just think is an amazing idea to find sort of that look of the front grille. They used, I think it's 42 roller skates. In addition, you can see some of barrels here that are on a lot of sets. Obviously, a ton of other parts. The back windows are cockpit windows. You got your classic old school small ladder for some of that vent detail on the back. They just did an amazing job.
So earlier you talked about obviously like all the stickers that we're going to apply when it comes to like the rust and such like that, but there are some printed Lego pieces in this build as well, right?
Yeah, we have a gigantic printed logo, 3 different ones for the doors, the back door, the 2 side doors, and then of course a lot of the tech inside of the vehicle. We have more printed pieces, and what I love about these is that they went into their archive and found classic pieces that were in their very early sets that I remember when I was a kid, like the tape, which was in a lot of classic sets. Some of these gauges I recognize from a ton of early sets. And then also in the back of the car, a lot of the technology that they put in there are pieces from old sets that, as a kid we would have built and recognized. So it fits really well with the nostalgia of the vehicle.
Now, from my brief time, like I said, just diving in, building the set so far, one of my favorite things has been the actual, like the instructions. It almost looks like an actual like vehicle manual.
Totally agree. Yeah, Lego does a great job with their instruction manuals. What I love about their creator sets is they really go into the history of the item that you're building. So there's some great stories and photos of the Ecto-1 throughout, the first movie, the second movie, and now to Afterlife, the one that you get to build when you get the set.
Eric, I want to thank you so much for joining me here today and talking all about this brand new Lego Ecto-1.
Of course, it was my pleasure. This was a lot of fun. Thanks.
So Ghostbuster fans, if you want to grab your very own Lego Ecto-1, it will be available starting November 15th via lego.com, and you can also grab one at your local Lego store.
Don't wait, and enjoy the build, and thanks again for having me, Jason.